Okay, we're live. It's Lock and Load Monday. I've got a really important video of Don Lemon tries to stand up for Black Lives Matter and he gets creamed by Sheriff David Clarke. And it's really worth watching. So I wanted to share this with all of you. So check it out. I got to hit the play button. That would help. Keep the volume down. Washington Post. Uh, Harvard. It's a hashtag. There's how can you join a hashtag? One of these two people knows what he's talking about. One of these two people. What conversation does Don Lemon want to have? Fuck. He's jumping out of somebody send this guy a life preserver. He's jumping out into the off of the Titanic into the ocean. So you know, there ain't no good reason to go out hunting. Police. I mean, that's what the shooter did, in this latest shooting in Louisiana. So whatever that hashtag or whatever this movement Black Lives Matter is, they're not doing any good for anybody, and they're not making themselves look good. They're not accomplishing anything. And really, what Bernie Sanders should have done when the two protesters came on stage and seized the microphone is simply unplug the microphone. So, but he couldn't do that because it wouldn't be politically correct. So probably this particular me playing this isn't politically correct, but it's a Dead Horse on Gun Channels linked it, and I thought it was a pretty, powerful video of somebody who actually knew what he was talking about, and somebody who's being paid to be politically correct. It's one of these guys is the fool on television being paid to play a fool, and so it looks like he got made into lemonade, and he jumped he jumped off of the Titanic at the end, and said, pull up, throw on a life preserver, and jump into the ocean because the ship is sinking. So, and I think Black Lives Matter is a ship that is sinking, and even Obama is going to get off of it. It really, it really, yeah, you'd follow him to hell and back. So, Dead Horse just said that in the Gun Channels chat at gunchannels.com/HVS. But anyway, it's you see that interview and you just realize that the whole fucking thing with Black Lives Matter is just a fraud. The hands up, don't shoot was bullshit, and nobody protests, I mean, there's in Louisiana, that shooting, there's 7 children who don't have their father anymore. And why? Because the president of the United States needs to get up there and, just talk politically correct, racially divisive bullshit, and it's just, I don't think President Obama ever understood what it means to be the president of the United States, and it's I don't know. If you see this video and just don't want to go to CNN and burn it down, I don't know. We should just, I guess, leave CNN up for stupid people to watch, I guess. But I don't know. But I didn't see Sheriff Clarke speaking at the Republican convention. I don't know if he spoke earlier today. I was on Matt's chat earlier, then my computer melted down and my laptop just died. And then as I got back on and I made a turkey sandwich and I watched the end of Trump's wife's speech. And then they had Michael Flynn on, who's the director of who was Obama's director of national security or some such title for the Defense Department or the CIA or something. And he said Obama doesn't know what he's doing. Hillary doesn't know what he's doing. And it's just, yeah, if they're elected president, if Hillary is, then America will go to hell, and not just in America, but all around the world. And then if America goes to hell, then so will the whole world. And, as the biggest guys with the biggest stick or the biggest army anyway, and the biggest military, I hate to think what's going to happen. Is somebody actually else in the chat right now? Or let's see.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, what's up? This is Too Hottie.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining on.
I'm glad I was able to figure it out.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Just had some issues with my internet. My laptop just melted or something. So I sprayed it in with the dust off to get some cool air in there, and took 20 minutes to restart. And I made a turkey sandwich for dinner and watched some of the Republican convention, so I hope they win,
Yeah, what's going on with that circus?
They had they were wrestling over a point of order, as far as getting a roll call vote. The people that want to dump Trump, wanted a roll call vote, and they had a yays and nays, and the guy they just gavelled over that whole thing, and then they're just going to go on with the Trump program and to get Trump nominated, and I guess in 3 days we'll have a nominee named Trump. But
he's our only option right now.
Yep. That's the way it
sad.
looks.
It's sad, but I can't believe that's where we're at right now. But
yeah, back the blue lives matter. That's a good logo you have up in there.
Yep.
Dead Horse linked this video on Gun Channels, and anybody that didn't watch it, it's on the post for members on the front page there, so you can find it. I think you have to click down a few because people post all the time. But anyway, or you can just replay this video 1,000 times and click on all the ads. But it's just, I don't know. I am hoping that the Republicans win, the whole way this whole convention is, but it's like every time, something happens, it's everybody just blames the cops automatically, everybody's run across, a cop with an itchy trigger finger or just got in a traffic ticket and gotten mad at the police, and every time you forget to put on your seatbelt and you get a safe, a ticket,
yep.
It sucks, but this is just stupid. Going out hunting cops.
No, it's ridiculous. I mean, I've got my own issues with cops, but I still respect the work they do. I respect what they do for our community. I mean, yeah, there's bad apples out there, but
it's a tough job, and it's tough to get it right because when you make a mistake, chances are you're screwing somebody over, like and
then you're going to be hung in front of your department for it.
Well, the thing is, even if, there's some people that think, well, I have a gun, I don't need to call the police. I'll never need to call the police. But what if you send your son or daughter they have to walk to school and, they have to walk by a crack house or something, that's run by a drug cartel. Who's going to fix that? You need the police, a warrant, surveillance, an entry team.
Yeah, you need a $200,000 operation to take care of that one
battering
freaking
ram,
crack house,
an armored car, because again, you're gonna have the cartel's gonna fight back. So it's because they've got their own army too. So it's guess what? We need the police, whether we always like them or not. And it's I could tell stories about times the police have screwed up, but law and order and living, peace officers are a good thing because the alternative is a hell of a lot worse,
Right. Well, here's the problem though, is they've kind of gone away from the whole peace officer thing. And, these days they're almost just like,
well, look who they're
soldiers
fighting.
almost.
Look who they're fighting.
That's very true. Very true.
Look how they have to fight. They're fighting guys, and they needed that SWAT team to take that guy out. I think they had to shoot through a building to hit the shooter in Baton Rouge. They had to literally shoot through a building to get him and take him out.
Yep.
The SWAT team. So yeah, they needed all that high-tech military stuff. And it would be nice if we lived in a world where we didn't need it. And hey, in like old Britain, you could just get by with the cops with a bobby stick and a whistle. But
yeah, that's not working out too well for the rest of Europe, though.
Yeah, they couldn't even shoot out the windows of that damn truck in Nice. So, and to get to the driver who was running over people. So if you think, marksman on the roof, run the police force is a bad thing, I beg to differ. Those are the good guys. Those are the good guys. So, if you see an officer, just thank him, buy him a donut and some coffee or whatever. It's just, everybody, I don't know what else to say. It's just the whole Black Lives Matter thing is just a fraud, and
It's been hijacked by people who could care
hijacked
less
by the
about.
president.
That's true.
President
And
Obama hijacked it for political purposes,
yep. And every major news media outlet, and yeah, I mean, it's getting to a point where it's ridiculous.
Let's bump up our ratings by talking about Black Lives Matter and I don't think I'm bumping up my ratings because I've only got one viewer, but I guess people will watch this because I got a few people that watch my channel, and watch these things, on after it's posted and stuff. But man, if your first instinct is to always figure out, think that the cops did something wrong or that they deserved it because of something, it's just your first instinct is wrong. You've been programmed by, politically correct media. And so many people in America have been, I just hope enough people haven't been to, they wake up before November 8th or whatever the exact date of the election is.
Well, that's the thing is, people in my life, I keep trying to shake them and wake them up and do everything I can, but it's some people just are walking through and nope, I don't care what Hillary did, she's going to get elected.
And it's like, boy, some people are so afraid of Donald Trump, it just, they're either afraid of Trump or they're afraid of him losing, so it's just, they're afraid of him winning. They're afraid of him losing, it's just, give me any Republican other than, you give me Trump, anything other than Hillary, because Hillary will just be a disaster for the world. She won't just fuck up America. She'll fuck up the world. Beyond,
and
it'll be foobar. It'll be complete foobar.
Yeah, and what she'll do is fuck us up for 100 years.
Well, I'm hoping if she's elected, she'll only fuck us up for 20 or 30 years. That would be the best case scenario if she's elected.
Well, what about all her Supreme Court?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying 20 or 30 years. Well, I don't know. Maybe it could be 100 years. 100 years is a long time.
That's true.
I like to think it more,
I just threw that out there.
Hopefully she'll pick old judges or old liberals or something.
Ones that don't affect us for too long.
Yeah, but it's like, when you really think of and how it can affect you personally, it's you can lose all your rights. The economy could go to shit. The government won't be able to afford to deliver services that it's delivering now, and in the worst case scenario, World War III starts or something like it, or just a lot of little wars that we get sucked into.
Yeah.
But so I don't know what else to talk about because I just thought that. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just that video just of David Clarke, it's like it's just a pretty powerful, trashing of the liberal media and Black Lives Matter.
I have not seen the video yet, but I like everything that man has to say.
Oh, well, yeah. When I played it, at the start of this video, so we'd have something to talk about. But
did you? Yeah. I was in the middle of
your earbuds and downloading the Google Hangout app.
Yeah, I was doing all this on the iPhone, and then of course when I went to download the app, it needed a new credit card and blah blah blah.
You need a credit card to download the app? I didn't.
That's what it. Yeah, for iTunes, it told me I needed to update my credit card. So
you're on iTunes. I don't even have iTunes. I just use my computer, which.
That's what I intend to start doing. Is I gotta search for a decent set of or decent headset, and then I'd like to do it on my computer.
I just use earbuds and a mic, so
I mean, am I coming through okay without
You
any?
sound fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, just so I know, is there ways to mute this when I'm talking to you? If I get in a chat with a lot of you guys.
Well, no, just the volume on your computer will turn everything down.
Okay, I'm talking on the phone here. I don't want to push any. I don't want to push any of these buttons. I don't want to push any of
Welcome.
these buttons because it'll disconnect.
Well, so so this is the first time you've been on here. So what? So I saw you were on Gun Channels. What made you join Gun Channels?
Well, I joined Gun Channels a few weeks back. Stumbled across. First, I stumbled across Matt's Guns and Geeks podcast.
Yeah, he's pretty prolific. He's been doing it for years.
Yeah, and I slowly started to realize that there was other people out there with voices, and and then at one point
Yeah,
I
it's a
remember.
big world.
Yeah, and at one point I remembered him saying, check out Gun Channels, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna check out Gun Channels, and I signed up the same day, and it's been a cool little community. But yeah, this is the first chat I've ever participated in.
All right.
Um,
So what kind of shooting do you like to do? What kind of guns do you have?
I'm I I'm a concealed carrier. I'll give you a little background
So
on my story.
you live in a free state, I take it.
Well, it used to be free. I'm up in Washington State,
All right.
so I'm kind of in the same position. I think as Yankee. I think he's down south, but yeah,
I'm not sure. He might be
so
in Washington. I don't track his movements.
right. Yeah, I'm just south of Seattle. If you hear some noise going over, that's because I live under the path of the airport, and they built a third runway a few years back, and told us they were only going to use it on shitty days, but of course they use it every day.
All right.
But I'm 31. What actually brought me into guns is, when I grew up, I had a buddy who used to go, riding dirt bikes and whatnot, and I shot 22s and whatnot as a little kid. But my family was never really a gun family. My dad, my dad still isn't a gun guy. But I was shot back when I was 19 years old. I was out with some friends up at a local park, and doing what 19-year-olds do, and obviously just wrong place, wrong time. And a few years after that, I came to the realization that, hell, I love the cops, but there's nothing that they're going to be able to do to protect me. So I'm my only line of defense.
Well, you're your first line of defense, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The police will get there eventually to tag him and bag him, but
Yeah. Well, in my case, they got there to treat me like the fucking criminal at the hospital, and question my parents about, like, they're like, I'm a criminal, and of course they still didn't get the guy. So that's, I got some bad. I'll just say I got some bad cops that night. But it's either that or that's just their normal gig when it comes to.
well, if you're a cop, you got to figure that everybody will lie to you, So and so you don't believe anything anybody tells you, because for most of the people that you meet, that'll probably be true, But
I mean, I don't even think that my wound was cleaned out before I had 10 cops around me badgering me.
Right. Well, you have rights, so you just need to tell them, "Read me my rights." And
Yeah,
if they want to arrest you, then you don't have to talk to them. So
right. I was young, and these days I would tell them, "Fuck you." I as a victim, I think I have 72 hours to talk to you.
Right. Well, you can always assert your right to remain silent. So
yeah, they weren't they weren't having none of that. They were the type that were egging me on as a young man, and
if you invoke your right to, just to a lawyer, then say, I have nothing further to say. I'm invoking my right to remain silent. I want a lawyer, and I'm not going to be questioned without one. And then you just shut up, and you can let them talk all they want, and then you just sit there.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, why? There's no. As a young man and being in that situation, it's just, why should I even have to do that sort of thing to get these guys to leave me alone?
Well, there's a good video called "Don't Talk to Police," where a lawyer explains exactly why you don't talk to the police in a classroom. Because their job is to collect evidence, against someone to arrest them. So if they're collecting evidence on you and you haven't done anything wrong, just plain, I haven't done anything wrong. I'm invoking my right to silence, and I want a lawyer. I'm not going to be questioned without a lawyer. I'm invoking all my rights.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I just
wanted silence. And then when your lawyer gets there, he'll answer their questions, or tell them not.
At that point, I just wanted to invoke my right to morphine.
I can imagine. Yeah. How bad was your wound?
I got lucky. It clipped me in my actually upper neck.
Ouch.
Upper neck.
So you look like a gangbanger? I mean,
No, I'm a white dude.
I mean,
I'm a white dude, clean
white
cut.
Dudes can be in gangs too. You have a lot of gang tattoos or something?
No, not at all.
Well, look at my picture. But I don't.
Oh, I see. Green.
No mix face mask.
I see a green circle with a white little person on it. I don't even see your picture on here.
Oh, well, it's probably too small for your phone. That's all. So have they passed all that? Did that ammo law go through where you have to, in Seattle, or?
Yes, sir.
It was a tax or something?
Yep, they were able to get that through. The ammo tax and they added an additional $25 tax on each firearm. So, there's a store right down in South Seattle that I used to buy guns from and used to buy a lot of ammo from, and there's still good guys in there that I've known throughout the years, and I'll go down there and talk to them. And
can you just drive out of the city and then buy ammo somewhere where you're not taxed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's good.
That's the way to do it. But what's crazy is I've even tried to order online from Cabela's and have it shipped to me.
They won't send it. Yeah.
And they told me that my zip code is too close to Seattle, even though I don't live in Seattle. I'm in a little city called Burien.
Yeah.
But I put that same order in at Midway. It came through just fine, no problem.
Yeah, when I was running a business in Burbank, I had the LA County tax collector call me and try and collect taxes. So we had a pretty funny conversation when he asked me what I do at my shop, and I said, I don't know. he said, you're not cooperating with me. No, I am cooperating you. Here, I've given you the number to my, accountant, my CPA, and he'll answer any questions you have. So he said, okay. He called the CPA, and the CPA told him to fuck off in accounting terms, And why are you calling someone whose business is in the city of Burbank over which you have no jurisdiction? Because basically, the city of Los Angeles thinks you owe them tax if you breathe their smog, or anything you do from your business is played or distributed or travels through, or you have to drive to work through the city of Los Angeles. So they want to tax you, basically. So
they'll tax you just to die like they do everywhere else.
Yeah, but since my business was a corporation, and it was a California corporation, but it wasn't in the city of Los Angeles, and I was specifically located in the city of Burbank, they had absolutely zero jurisdiction over me. So, my accountant, cited him the codes or whatever that made that clear, and then I never heard from the guy again. I mean, so, but Yeah, taxing is one of the ways they want to try and get you. So, uh, if I start complaining about Hawaii gun laws, then and their taxes and shit that they're trying to do.
Oh yeah, I heard about some of the shit that either went through or is going through down there, or
The Hawaii Rifle
or
Association.
whatever.
The Hawaii Rifle Association guy who runs it said they have 6 lawyers working on fighting the. Whoops, was your phone beeping?
No, mine's not.
All right, I heard something.
I just rolled the window down though, so that
Oh,
is that what you're hearing?
well, I heard something beeping, but whatever.
Oh yes. My truck was beat. I apologize.
Your
Sitting
truck is.
outside my truck.
What kind of truck you driving?
2014 Frontier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they've got 6 lawyers working on it and trying to find some strategy to, I thought they would need somebody with standing to present the case, saying that the law was illegal, but I don't know. They got 6 lawyers. Maybe one of them will figure it out. Basically they created a federal wrap back list, and they want to put anybody who wants to buy a new gun, they want to make them pay $75 to fee to put on this list. And I know I'm not paying anybody $75 to be on an illegal federal list. That's in violation of the 1986 Federal Firearms Owners Protection Act. It's a federal law, so they made a state law that breaks the federal laws.
Now,
the attorney general.
are states allowed to do that, or is federal all Trump state?
If federal law, it says the supremacy over state law, but
but the feds aren't going to impose a ruling on that because they agree with what's going on.
Yeah, so it's it's up to somebody to bring it to a court. Oh, I hear an airplane flying over your truck. So
there you go. I'll roll the window up.
So what kind of guns do you shoot up there in Seattle?
I started with the old SIG P6, old West German made police SIG.
Okay.
Okay. From there, right now on person, G43 and Ruger LCP. My usual daily carry is a G19.
All right.
Other than that,
you can
got a mini 14. And...
Oh, well, that's a good Rancher.
What's that?
That's a good one. Yeah, well, you can steal a Glock in America. I've got my Glock 17, so but the one I stick in my pocket is the Ruger LC9S Pro because it's so small. It's small, concealable. It's something that you can conceal pretty damn easy, and unlike a Glock or a 45 Colt or my GP100, the Ruger LC9S Pro has all the safeties off, and it's a really cool little subcompact that I like. And
that's a striker fired, right?
Yeah, they really improved the trigger on that thing. It's really smooth. It's a lot better than a Glock trigger wise, and I like it. So yeah, I've got a few magazines for it. I got a few nine rounders that they were hard to find though. I bought the gun and there was you couldn't find any magazines for like a few months after they did the rollout of it. They just did not have any supply. Even Ruger didn't have any magazines for their own gun.
Right.
But I liked it enough to put up with it, and it's just really cool little gun you could stick in your pocket and have it when you need it.
I really like the little pocket pistols. A lot of people knock them, but they serve a purpose. Whether it's a little 380 or 9mm.
Yeah, I have the
Hell,
LC 380, but
or even smaller.
the 9 millimeter is a good enough caliber. Although G-Webs knocks it all the time.
Yeah, I know. I know G-Webs talks a lot of stuff about the 9 millimeter. He puts us 9 millimeter guys down all the time.
Yeah, well, I've seen those Hornady jacketed bullets in the fired out of subcompacts on shooting the bulls ballistic jello or whatever it is, gelatin tests, and those Hornady bullets out of a subcompact really do just awesome, just have awesome terminal ballistics.
Right.
I mean, so
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel
I don't
underarmed
feel
or
underpowered.
inadequate with nine. I'm just fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand all the bigger
Yeah,
is better stuff. If I was going into war, I'd probably, I might pick a different caliber, but you know, we're not
just
in a
kind of.
war zone. So, if I
I
was
mean,
going
it's
to
some
war, I'd bring my rifle everywhere I go, but I'm not in a war. So,
very true. I mean, yeah, in civilian life, it's. I mean, at some point, it's just like, why go so big when you're just all you're doing is adding weight and taking away your capacity.
yeah, adding weight, when you're hiking or something or just walking around all day, it's not nothing. Weight counts, I mean, lighter is better for everything. I mean,
Absolutely.
and like in my bug out bag, I spent way too much money on titanium everything just because it weighs a few ounces less. So why would I take a gun that weighs a few pounds more, when I could just, stick a, I mean, unless I'm going to war, there's no point, So if I'm just, if I don't really need, all that firepower, I'm perfectly happy with the lightweight subcompact. But
Right. I mean, what's the old saying? I mean, ounces are pounds, and pounds is pain.
yeah, when you have to,
For climbers. I mean, I
and in the end, if you need to grab a gun and you grab it, then it's going to go bang, and it's going to go bang, and and that you can hit what you aim at, then
mhm.
what else do you need? I mean, uh, you know, it's just, I don't know, a more practical philosophy that I think, everybody always wants the biggest, baddest, cannon you can carry, so, but carrying a 44 Magnum around or a S&W 500 just isn't practical everywhere
No,
you go. So it'd be cool,
no.
to open carry an S&W 500 everywhere you go, because just nobody would want to mess with you. But, you know, unless they had a hankering to somehow catch you when you aren't looking and get your S&W 500 away from you. But because it's
Yeah.
such a cool gun. But yeah, it's like I said, subcompacts are fine for me. But um, hey, if I can bring my AK or my Tavor with me everywhere I go, I'd do it. But it's just not,
It's not practical.
not practical, unfortunately. We don't have open carry or concealed carry in my state, so we're kind of screwed over that way. But
You don't have either?
nope. I mean, it's a Maine state that has never issued a permit, But unless you're in a hunting area, then you can, if you have a hunting license, you can carry a hunting caliber weapon. So either like you can for handguns, you're limited to 44 Magnum pretty much, and for rifles, it has to be it has to have a certain muzzle velocity, and so it's you can't just bring a 22. It has to be a hunting caliber weapon, and you have to use soft points out here. So for hunting, and if they catch you breaking the hunting regs, then they'll just take your guns and put your name in the paper and say with something beside it that says multiple firearms violations or something, and a
So,
police blotter.
good question. So down there, is there nothing? I mean, can you guys not take your 22s out in the
Not,
woods or jungle
not
and
only if it's your
have a good
only,
time?
not in state hunting areas. Nope. Only if you own your own property. If you have a few acres far enough away from a road and other people's, out in the middle of nowhere. than or at the far back of a subdivision up against a forest reserve.
So it's only on private property.
Only on private property, right? So you either
Wow.
need the landowner's permission, so you need to have a friend, or you have to, you can't just, like, I can't even take my Glock out to the hunting areas anymore because it's not a hunting caliber weapon according to the, state. So they've been, restricting, uh, restricting the hunters more and more every new set of regulations they pass. But
Right.
so yeah, I'm hoping for a Trump win, and if he passes his national, national reciprocity act, for where one state has to honor the permits of another, because Hawaii doesn't even honor the LEOSA, the law enforcement retired officers, you know, carry their cards that they issue when they retire, so.
So the only people armed in Hawaii are, in fact, the criminals and the cops.
Yep. Oh, and the hunters,
And only if they're on hunting land, though.
Yeah, or their own land, right? So,
Right.
and a lot of people I know do, but specifically like to buy, homes at the back of the subdivision against the forest reserve, specifically for that reason. And I'm looking at one right now. Actually, I'll show you it. Let me click on this page and screen share it because it's kind of interesting. It's not much of a house, but I was looking at some property right there.
Are you showing me
I
something?
know, but I will be in a minute. Once.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Let me know when it's up. I may have to jump over to gun shows. I'm not sure how it's going to work on this thing.
Well, let me scroll down and get the web page up. Okay, let me hit the screen share button. Let's see, screen share. Start screen share. All right, it's not much of a house. I don't even think it has a permit, but let me show you where it is. Let me show you this last picture of it you can kind of see it's like ferns and trees and stuff, but there's a front gate. But let me scroll down to where it is. The Google.
So you got nothing but open land behind it.
Yeah, nothing but a forest reserve and a volcano. All the way to the ocean. All that's forest reserve. That's an active volcano, hence the name Volcano Squad. And that's the ocean there, Kalapana. And this is an active lava flow.
Okay. What island are you on?
The Big Island. So, and this is where the house is, up on Palanui. I was looking at the 3 acres earlier right here that was for sale for a while ago, and I'm thinking about buying it. But I just don't want to move into forest when I sell my condo in Kona, in town. And it's like I could build this 1 acre here is big enough so I could build another house if I want, and on it right on there. And if the first house doesn't suit me, that's on there.
Right.
But it's agricultural land, so you don't really need a permit to build a house because it's like considered an agricultural shed, legally. So, but obviously, if you build one with a permit, it's worth more than if you build one without it. But as opposed to just buying 3 acres and moving into the jungle, I thought just where it is would make just an incredibly awesome bug out hunting cabin. And since that's what I like to do, I could shoot my guns till kingdom come and nobody would bother me out here. Because it's like, let me just show you where the nearest main road is. This is back of the Eden Rock subdivision. Not getting to the main road yet. This is the main road, Highway 11, right here. The Volcano Road. And Volcanoes National Park is just right there, the Kilauea Crater. That's the Kilauea Crater caldera. Can you see all this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've never been down to Hawaii, so.
Yeah, so it's
I mean,
It's
sorry. Oh, I was just saying that spot that you were first showing me. I mean,
here.
yeah, awesome dugout location. Awesome. Just
Yeah, I mean, look how far
go
it is.
go there and say, leave me the fuck alone to everybody else. You know.
Yeah, and with the way the world is going, and especially if Hillary wins, I don't want to be anywhere near a city. You know, yeah, I mean, it's maybe convenient to all the stores, but I'd rather drive a little further than and and uh, and than be in an urban area. I mean, as much as it
Right.
is urban,
No, you got a buffer.
you got a big buffer, and if somebody really wants to kill you, you can just disappear into the forest. There's a triple canopy jungle out there, and where nobody will ever find you with enough caches. You could just and you could. There's enough wild boar out there to live off forever too. But yeah, I was talking to somebody about recipes for barbecue sauce and cooking boars. But so I'd need to build a probably if I buy that place, I'll build a smokehouse for smoking boar meat and a greenhouse for growing veggies, I think.
There you go.
And berries and stuff like that.
Yeah. I got a neighbor who buries a boar in his front yard every year and makes it a
kumu pit.
neighborhood thing.
Yeah, it's called the
Yep.
kumu pit in Hawaii. But
Okay.
so I kind of like this. I mean, it's not like the house isn't anything much, but it's got laminate flooring and water and hey, some solar panels, and it might be okay. A little bit of work, and if it's not, then I could always just build another house right next to it, a little further back on the property. But it just seems like a pretty damn cool location for if you think the world is just going to get fucked up beyond all recognition, But haven't bought it yet. I'm flying to LA in like a week, and gonna do a little tour behind enemy lines, go see the folks, and I'm trying to sell one of my screenplays to this a producer in Beverly Hills, which would
Right on.
give me enough money to do what I want with this. But it's pretty cheap. But they're actually, I looked on the tax records, and they're trying to sell it for twice what they paid for it in 2010. Of course, I don't know how much work they did on it since then, So, and it just came on the market a few days ago, so probably have a little time. But anyway, so that's what's on my radar. I think I'm done buying guns for now. I already have 4 long guns and a dozen pistols, so but I'm looking forward to seeing my folks and hopefully selling one of my screenplays in LA and getting a check. That's my plan anyway, and then I'll come back and spend some money. But
very cool.
But yeah, right now I'm living in my condo in Kona, and we just fixed it up to sell it. I just need to do a little more clearing of clutter before we put it on the market, and a little more cleaning. But we just remodeled the bathroom, new laminate flooring, and Pergo golden tigerwood flooring, and so it looks okay. So it's just the real estate marketing exactly the best right now, but I don't know if it's going to go up or down. I know Britain just got slammed. They said all their real estate stuff has like gone down like 30% since the Brexit vote, and everybody's trying to dump all the real estate investment trusts, the REITs, and they can't. They actually froze them over there. But yeah, you wonder if
really,
like imagine everything going down 30%. I mean, in Japan, I think it was in the 80s. I think the Tokyo, all the real estate in Tokyo dropped 50%, like in like a month, and it still hasn't recovered, since the 80s. It's still like exactly where it was, but they have negative interest rates in Japan, so I don't know if that's a
and then
harbinger.
therefore, and then when they cut that in half or 70% or whatever, then that screws with the whole world, right?
Cut what by 70%?
You were talking about Japan, and you said
Oh,
they
right. I was
devalued
talking.
their currency or something,
Yeah.
or
Well,
did I get lost?
they have negative interest. Well, you could have gotten lost easily in the world of economics. Yeah, they have negative interest rates, and
I'm
the
sure.
Tokyo in the 80s, the Tokyo real estate market just dropped 50% and completely, and it never recovered. Still, it's still down
That's what
where
we're
it was
talking
in
about.
the 80s. The whole economy of Japan froze. It's in like a big deep freezer and hasn't grown and hasn't changed since the 80s. It's just, and that's why they have negative interest rates now. They've proved that negative interest rates do not work, and the whole world is going to negative interest rates. Germany, I mean, but anyway, if I start babbling about the economy, you know, I don't know. It's a
Yeah, I have to say, when it comes to that sort of stuff, I might just put my head in the sand.
yeah,
I just,
yeah. Well, like I said,
and it changes so often that it's just like, okay, things are up today, and fuck, you lost everything. Yes, or tomorrow. Or tomorrow you're going to lose everything, or wake up to find out you lost half of what you had, you know?
yeah, and the banks aren't going to have bailouts anymore because the banks are too big to fail and they're too big to bail out anymore. So they're going to have bail-ins where they seize people's 401s. If the bank has problems, they'll just raid the 401ks and the customers' accounts. That's looks like it's going to happen. The Bank of Italy, the Portugal, Spain, Germany, Deutsche Bank. It's just one big mess, and so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball, but I just want to get the hell out of Dodge before things get worse. And I'm being on the Big Island. I feel like I'm already hell out of Dodge. I mean, because if somebody nuked the Big Island, nobody would even know it was missing. It said there's no point. Nothing important happens here, So, uh, you know, I mean, like there's one little military base that they use for training practice of artillery up on Mauna Kea, which is on the other side of the island. So
And then the main area of Hawaii is what, Honolulu?
yeah, that's Oahu. That's a different island. So that's where most of the people are on Honolulu, and which is, by the way, the biggest. They just had a report has the highest cost of living in anywhere in the United States is Honolulu. So as
It's
somebody who
not.
just spent $7,000 to stay there for 2 months, after medical operation, I can tell you that it is very expensive to live in Honolulu. But
Yeah, how are you recovering with that? I've
I'm
been.
doing great. I got a call from my thanks for asking. I got a call from my cardiologist. We just recently had done an ultrasound of my heart, and he called me and said I'm going to live to a ripe old age. As long as I don't eat crap and go for walks, all the time, every day or every other day, then you know I don't eat fast food, which I do not do anymore, or don't eat crap or cheese. Then uh, I'll live to a ripe old age. Basically, when I presented with congestive heart failure, my heart was pumping at 40 to 45% of its capacity, and normal is 55 to 60, which is, he said, now it's pumping at 55 to 60. So after the bypass operation I had, it's pumping normal. So uh, I'm glad to be alive and looking forward to doing a lot more shooting and you know uh, basically just having fun with guns and knives and building my Hawaii volcano fortress, up there on the volcano,
Yep.
making a lot
Live
of,
life and enjoy it.
yeah. I mean, it's really beautiful up there. I mean, it's just, if you don't mind the coqui frogs that were brought over from Puerto Rico making their coqui sound all the time at night, that's about the only thing that you need some earplugs sometimes at night because they had an invasive species that was brought over that doesn't have any natural enemies over here. Those little tiny, they're like the size of a dime, those tree frogs. But
If you buy that little place, it'll be private property, and you can go to town on them little things with the 22.
with a 22. I don't know if I want to waste that much ammo. I'd just rather buy a few chickens and let them eat them or something, because they'll
There
probably
you
eat
go.
them. Get some hen layers that, although I'm only allowed to eat the egg whites, I'm not allowed to eat the egg yolks. I mean, I could just, throw away the yolks and just eat the egg whites. But I mean, because that's what I buy now at the store, is just a little carton of egg whites uh, to make omelets with. So, yeah. So I need a chicken coop, a smokehouse, a greenhouse, and a target range. So, yeah, I need to clear out. A few hundred yards so I can, you know, shoot some distance shots and not just handgun stuff. But because in the jungle, it's hard to shoot that far because it's really thick jungle out there. You won't
And what's the
get
terrain like? Up and down, up and down.
the terrain is like sharp lava. It's really difficult to hike through, so and it's like for these homes, it's like there's a layer of topsoil, but right underneath it, it's uh, it's black lava rock underneath the topsoil. And when there's an earthquake in the volcano, it travels at like 50 miles an hour. So all the structural supports in your house need to be, because this is all post and pier. Let me see if I have a shot of it underneath the house. Let's see. Come on. This might have a shot. Oh, yeah, the front shot. You can see it's all post and pier on the bottom.
Okay.
Can you see that? And so, yeah, they need their specific earthquake reinforcements that can withstand like these. It's like the black rock that's underneath all the topsoil. It carries because it's such a it's solid lava rock. It's like carries the force of an earthquake at like 50 to 60 miles an hour. So the piers and posts have to have steel support beams specifically made. I mean, you can buy them at Lowe's or Home Depot because they have them here, but they have to be rated for to withstand the earthquakes around here. Because when there is one, they travel at 50 to 60 miles an hour, or the whole thing will just collapse. So
Okay, so oh, I apologize, but so if I'm understanding this correctly, this little post and pier, it's actually dug down and not dug down, but it's basically bolted into that black lava rock.
No, it's I don't think so. I think it's usually just, to my knowledge, it's sitting on a post on a concrete blocks. They're basically it's sitting on concrete blocks
Okay.
that are dug into the topsoil.
Oh,
So
okay. So it's not like they're anchoring the house down to that black lava, which is
yeah,
however
but
many
the
feet below you.
topsoil might only be a few feet down. So and in some cases, and I could show you a lot of homes that are just sitting right on the lava rock. There's depending where you are. This area has some topsoil, but and there's a lot of homes that are sitting right on the lava rock, or on concrete blocks on the lava rock, or they're anchored to the lava rock. But in which case, it's even worse, because it's basically the problem is the lava rock carries the seismic activity at 50 to 60 miles an hour, which it doesn't do in like the mainland, because it's lava rock, it moves so much faster. You need to have those steel supports on each post. So
That's interesting. So it's more like the earthquakes down there are more like a whiplash sort of thing.
yes, exactly.
Uh,
So that's one problem we have with construction here. But in this area, you would get all the free rainwater you need, and you can do catchment up here. And collect your own water and put in an ultraviolet system and stuff. But
yeah, you could be totally off grid up there if you wanted to.
yeah, well, they're here up here. There, I think I don't think there's anything up here that's connected to anything. They might have cable, high speed cable. I don't know. It's right on the edge of where the last pole is, on that street. pollen
So I
and heat.
mean, so if you wanted it connected, at least there's a pole there. So
Yeah, there's a pole. The last pole is like right on Punawai and Pollen. It's right on the corner here. So, I mean, you might have to pay for one more pole, you know,
yeah, but
and and
but you can definitely tap into that. Yeah.
and yeah, basically, yeah, for the you have to pay. They have a program called SSPP, which is it's basically the power company has to have they finance the cost of the poles if you need to put one in over 30 years or something like that. So you don't have to pay for it all at once. And uh, but I think I don't know, this one doesn't say, but yeah, solar system would be good out here, and big propane gas tank or something. But
God, there's all sorts of things you can do there.
yeah, it's I mean, it's a long way from the beach is the only thing, but other than that, it's if you like trekking through the forest, it's tough hiking through that area. It's very difficult, and people have gotten lost if you don't have a compass. Yeah, if you hike just a little ways, you won't know what the hell direction you're facing because it all looks the same. It really does. If you lose sight of where you started or where you're going and you don't have a compass, just you're fucked. So
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the same with us out here. I mean, a lot of people don't think of it, but our East Mountains, the Cascades, they're they're rugged mountains. People go hiking up there and lose their way and die, every year.
yeah, and if you call for help, they will give you a hellacious bill and charge you for give you a criminal charge for not for hiking in the park without a permit or something like that. Some
It's either that or they charge you for the helicopter fuel or something.
Yeah, they'll charge you a fortune and charge you with a crime, basically. Uh,
At least they save your ass though.
yes, they won't. They usually won't just let you die, but they will. Yeah, I mean, you're not even allowed to start a campfire, in the state lands, So, not that you would care if you got stuck out all night, about what law they passed, but if you called them and you had a campfire there, they'd write you a ticket for that too. But yeah, it's very rocky. It's jagged lava rocks, a lot of it, and with vegetation overgrown and trees. And a lot of these trees are actually have this disease called uh, it's some kind of rot. I forget what it is, but it specifically only affects. It's like certain trees that are out here. God, it's evading. I feel stupid because it's been in all the news lately. But there's like a tree rot that they haven't cured that's out here. I mean, like the oak trees have it and something like it in California, but they have a
And when we've had rotting problems, not rot, but we've had like beetles come in and ruin whole acres of forest.
yeah. Here it's some kind of rot disease that they haven't figured out that's killing the forest up on the volcano. And they actually banned exporting uh, the wood from the Big Island to any other islands, uh, which kind of put an end to a lot of logging. There were a lot of logging companies out here that did a lot of clear cutting.
Well, I'm sure they wanted to. I'm sure they did that because they wanted to stop it and hope that it didn't continue on. Is that just going on your island or
Yeah, just the Big Island.
okay? So they kind of probably did that as a protective measure to.
Well, they didn't want the rot spreading, the disease spreading to other islands, because yeah, if
Right.
just a collection of dead wood, would still carry like whatever the disease is. I could look it up. Um, I'm sure as soon as I hang up, I'll remember. Then as soon as this call ends, I'll remember what the hell it's called. But I got brain locked right now. So, but
It's all good.
so this is an interesting area. It's far enough away from everything, so you could just ignore the entire world, you know, and kick back and just live in the jungle, you know. Like, welcome to the jungle, man. So I'll put a sign over my house. Welcome to the fucking jungle. You know.
It's all fun and games.
If you got a tree, we got the disease. So, but anyway, so I think we covered the David Clarke making lemonade out of Don Lemon at the beginning. And hey, go back and listen to the video. It'll probably post after I end the call, and hey, I'll try and be back next Monday for another lock and load. You know, I try and do it every week if I'm not, you know, lying in a hospital bed somewhere recovering from some massive party or, you know, major heart operation. I'll be around. And
right on, man. Well, I really appreciate you having me on.
hey, thanks for showing up.
Absolutely.
All right, maybe you can come by next week too.
Yeah, I will.
Bring us up to date on what's happening up there in Seattle.
Yeah, I'll have to start actually paying attention to what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's a grunge. it's a grunge thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I just keep my head down, do my own thing.
Yep. All right. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for showing up again, and I will see y'all next week. And probably try and be on Night Strike's show tomorrow if he's going on, and hit the stop button. And see y'all next week. What does Edge say? Keep your groups tight. All right.